everyone, welcome to the BassSoldiers new web series. I'm Andrea, one of the BassSoldier girls, and on the cover in Miss May in the 2012 BassSoldier Bikini Calendar. We are here at CNC Outdoors, the BassSoldiers War Room. This is where the guys pick up all the tackle they need to be prepared for the missions that they face. CNC Outdoors has two locations. This is their West Knoxville location, located off of Concord Road. And this is their Louisville location, located on Topside Road. We will be sending the BassSoldier team on different lake challenges throughout the country. This month is a team challenge to figure out the bite on Norris Lake in December. Norris is a deep, clear reservoir located in East Tennessee. The air is cold and the water's in the 50s. The bass are in winter transition, so baits like the jig, jerk bait, or worm should work. So let's send out the call and see what the guys figure out.
Do you take on birding or black and blue? That some old man has given you? Do you go outside in the middle of the day while just hoping to run away? 'Cause I wanna go where the ocean meets the sky. And if you wanna know, I will tell you why. I wanna see my name up in the tree in front of your house, where it's you playing out of the horizon, out of the horizon, where I get away here.
Hey guys, this is Norris. It's about the middle of December. We've got, right now, I'm down next to the dam, we got about 55 degree surface temperature. Water's mostly clear. The bite has generally been jig, wake bait, that kind of thing. Mostly smallmouth, spots, hoping to find a largemouth or two. But this is a new lake for me. I hadn't fished it very much, and I hear good things about it, especially in cold water, cold weather. All right, let's see what we can do.
There he is. That's got to be that looks like a spot. Yeah, it's a spot. No, looks like a smallmouth. It's fighting like a smallmouth. Yeah, it's a smallmouth. Good fish, man. You see when those smallmouth take it, they don't mess around. They're not like those spots. They pretty much crush that thing. Fish right behind it. Fish right behind it. There's a fish right there. Oh man, you see him? You see him? Okay. Good spot.
Another chunky spot. Gotten a lot of bites, but these fish are hard to come by.
You just don't want to hold on to the bait very long. I'm just taking this super chunk, and with my jig, I'm just threading it. I'm putting the point of the jig right on the top of the super chunk and just threading it up all the way to the base of the jig. Push it up on there, and that's how I'm using that trailer. Smallmouth. So I pitched that jig out there. I picked up, and my line was just 10 feet from where it needed to be. So he had it for a while. Luckily I got him and he held it that long, but set the hook on him, and there you go. He's not a big one, but it's a good start, you know. Well, why we're here at Norris, though, it's these smallmouth are just amazing creatures. Thanks, brother. So basically what we're throwing here is what we like to throw here on Norris Lake. Pretty usually is basically a brown jig with some form of green pumpkin trailer. This one's got blue fleck because the crawdads on Norris have a little bit of blue in them, and so I try to like to match the hatch. But this super chunk helps to let that jig glide slower and just has a nice subtle action compared to some of the other trailers. And it's got a big bulky profile, and I like to trim the top of my jig with a finesse cut, so just basically give it a little mohawk chop. It kind of parachutes it down a little bit slower, gives it a little bit more of a finesse profile as well. But that's your jig bite. See if we can't get a couple more. The pattern seems to be they like shade. I mean, that's pretty standard across through the year, you know. Bass use shade as an ambush spot. Pitch it over there in that small little shade pocket. You can see we're here in the sun because I cheated because I'm freezing. I had to get out in the sun. Normally the bite's been good in the shade, but I wanted to hit the sunbank because I wanted to warm up. And as long as you got a little bit of shade, pitch that jig in that little shade, and came out with it. Another smallmouth. Maybe we can't get a little more. It's nice and warm now. anyway, spotted bass. Why don't we go see what John is doing right now while I put this fish away? I bet he's catching them.
Pretty little fish on a jig in probably 15, 20 feet of water. Just kind of concentrating on chunk rock. It seems like that's what they're really on right now, is that chunk rock. That one I just let sit there, and he picked it up and took off with it. There he is.
Looks like a largemouth. I don't know if you saw that when he came up and hit it. He tracked it a long, long ways and came up and just took it. I mean, that's what this wake bait is. It's basically the winner's version of a topwater. It's a slow-moving bait, and really it's at its best in the 50 to upper 50s. Once you get in the 40s and even in the 60s, you know it's time to throw something else. But the way you can tell it's a spot, you notice see that little roof patch right there? That's one of the big indicators of a spot. Also, the way you see the back of the jaw does not pass the eye, that makes it a spot. There's several factors of how you tell it's a spot, but that tooth patch, that's a dead giveaway. There we go. Spot. Came out of that tree. That's the difference between the smallmouth and largemouth and the spots, because the smallmouth don't relate to the cover as much as the largemouth do, and the spots. Thanks for playing, man. There's that spot. There's that little tooth patch that I'm talking about. Okay, so here it is. This is how I'm fishing this bomber long A. It's just your basic bomber long A. It's the floating edition. Don't get the suspending edition, because once suspending edition, if it goes under water, it'll stay there. You want it to float back up to the surface, and which is what allows it to wake. But this is the 3-hook version. They also come in a 2-hook, smaller version. I like this size. This is just basically kind of got a bone bottom, a little bit of chartreuse on it, but anything in that bone chartreusey color for smallmouth is good, and then any shad patterns are good as well. But the way I basically rigged this up is I got it tied on a braid main line, and you could use just monofilament for your main line. I just tend to prefer braid for the castability, and then I tie that braid to a mono 25-pound mono leader, and that mono basically does two things. It allows the fish not to see the braid, and number two, that heavy mono allows it to float. And then what I do is I tie a loop knot directly to my long A. I remove the swivel. If it comes with a swivel that from the store, I remove that little swivel or eye-ring, and I replace it with a standard loop knot. If you don't know what the loop knot is, you can look it up online. There's a lot of resources for you to find how to tie knots. But that's basically it. So braid or mono, main line to a mono leader if you're using braid, loop knot, and the long A. That's what I'm using, and that's how I'm catching these fish.
What's fun about this wake bait is, as you're waking it back, you oftentimes can see the bass trailing it, and it just becomes an anticipation game at that point. But the key when you're throwing this bait is get it out there. You want to use a heavier line. I'm actually using a braid with a mono leader, a heavy 25-pound mono leader to get it to float. But you just really want to just crawl this bait back slowly. It's a bomber long A is what I'm using. And you just want to crawl that bait real slow. Let it wake the surface. There are dedicated wake baits out on the market, but most of them have a harder side-to-side wobble. This bomber long A is very subtle and very finesse, and it's just going to basically wake the surface as long as you don't jerk it down below, because it's really meant to be a jerk bait. But you just wake it slowly back, real slowly back. And the key is not to stop reeling till you get it almost back to the boat, because many of your strikes are going to come right at the boat, or pretty much 10 feet from the boat. You know, they follow that thing all the way back, and for some reason that last 15 feet the bait wants to make some sort of a different change in direction, or somehow the way the line pulls on it changes the way the bait works, and it's at that moment when they seem to want it. Could also be that they see the boat coming and they want to pin it up again. You know, they want to get it before it gets away.
This is what we're supposed to be doing today. Norris on the wake bait. What I just had happen was there were two fish came up after the bait. Didn't see them till they were next to the boat, and I paused it. Just let it die. And the bigger of the two, believe it or not, the bigger of the two just crushed it. Just exploded on it. That was pretty neat. Yeah, that was fun.
Wake bait!
want to give up. Be smallmouth. Relentless. Just came out of his mouth. Nice Norris smallmouth.
Nice fish. Oh yeah. On the jig, baby. Anytime I get around some of these laydowns, that's what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating a largemouth bite, possibly a spot bite, but that's where these largemouth come off. If I threw on this laydown right over here, as you can see it, he was just sitting in that mix. It's a nice 2 3/4. 2.5, something like that. Maybe, possibly even upper, maybe 3, but upper 2s for sure. Good fish. Catch some more. Got him. Smallmouth. Fun bait. Really fun bait. Got a lot of hooks on it. Gotta be real careful. Smallmouth. They're such a beautiful fish. Thanks, brother. They definitely don't hit it like the spots do.
if y'all saw that. Not very big, but he bit. Long eye, bone color.
Another largemouth. Big one too. Big old toad. I know we came to Norris for some smallmouth, but I'll take these big largemouth any day.
Another one. Another good one. Look at that jig pinned right on the top of the lip like it's supposed to be. That's the place you want to pin a fish. Pretty much they get pinned right there, they're not coming off. That's a solid fish. Almost like that other one. Probably good 2 3/4, 3 pounder. All day I'll take a largemouth. I love you, buddy. Love you. Yes, sir. Keep on, keep on.
Good one.
Largemouth. Wow.
Good fish. Largemouth, unusual. Slipped down this bank earlier, caught a few earlier today, and decided to make another pass. What's up with the largemouth? We caught a couple smallmouth earlier and found a largemouth. Nice healthy fish.
Look at this one, guys. This is what you come to Norris for. Look at this big old smallmouth, guys. Look at that toad. Look at this toad, guys. Please get this guy in. Let me get this in for you guys. Look at that guy. Look at how big that one is. This is what you come here for and why you throw the jig. Man, he does not want to give up. That's a big dog. Oh, guys, look at this. Woo!
Oh yeah. Look at this fish, guys. Whew. Big old smallmouth. This is what you come to Norris Lake for. Look at how he choked that jig. Gone. That's why you throw the jig. The jig is a big fish bait. Sometimes, you know, the numbers will be less because you're going after size like this, you know. Whew. He put the whooping on me. Had me going running in circles for a while. Look at that guy. Let me get my board. Look at this board. That board is 18 inches. He's every bit of 20, 21, 22. Beautiful smallmouth. Let's let this guy go. Thank you so much for that.
See you another day. See what he spit up? He's spitting up like shad and crawdads and what they eat.
That's why you come here.
I caught this fish on a half-ounce Okeechobee crawl jig with a black and blue super chunk trailer. I was fishing a bluffy type bank in about the middle third of a creek around some laydowns and chunk rock. It ate your jig good. I just wish there'd have been about 20 more of them.
enjoyed seeing the guys catch them. It appears that the jig and the long A were the prime players. For more footage, check out BassSoldiers.com and pick up your copy of the 2012 calendar. Feel free to send us your ideas for lake challenges. Thanks for watching. Until next time, join the cause and be part of the Corps. This is Andrea, BassSoldiers.com.
Do you take comfort in your black and blue that some old man has given you? Do you go outside in the middle of the day, well, just hoping to run away?